welcome to our panelists, Mr. Watson from our neighborhood out there. Thanks for being here today as well. What was the purpose of Proposition 1 that was passed by California voters back in 2014?
It was to provide statewide and regional water storage and drought preparedness.
So it was a $7.5 billion bond. What portion was for the storage?
$2.7 billion.
So a little over a third. How far compared to the other dollars in that bond, how far have those dollars gone as far as being expended so far towards, and how much of the rest of the bond, the $4.8 billion, how much of that is spent, do you think? I don't expect you to know all of it, but.
I don't know how much from the other chapters. As it relates to the storage, which was Chapter 8, the $2.7 billion, no dollars have been spent or encumbered as of this date. The Water Commission intends to make their funding decision by the end of July.
So 3.5 years, there's been delays due to something, we won't call that regulatorily delay then, we'll call it something else. So we, on the heels again of a record drought period there for 4 years, and then by contrast, 2017, where we had massive amounts of water that could have, even more of it could have been impounded, and Lake Oroville, for example, was at 101% capacity in about this time of 2017. This year, it's at 40% capacity, right now, this moment. Obviously, Oroville had its issues, but that's a reflection of how quick the pendulum can swing on water supply around the state. The importance of Sites Reservoir and its flexibility, would you tell us a little more about that, please?
Sure. The Sites Reservoir project, because of our location, we can improve the efficiency of both the State Water Project and the Central Valley Project.
And you mentioned that's an off-stream storage there, but it also provides flexibility on the Sacramento River and augments Shasta Dam and even across the valley, Oroville and others.
Correct. We can make releases on behalf of those reservoirs, allowing them to maintain higher levels of storage in dry and critical years for both water supply and for the environment.
Now, regulation, again, is talked about a lot in the committee here on pro and con. In California, we not only have NEPA, we have our own called CEQA. How many years worth of additional discussion, especially since the dollars quickly came forward after the bond? How many years of additional discussion have been caused by a NEPA and CEQA overlayering?
It's an interesting question, because part of the delay was essentially waiting for the Proposition 1 to happen. There was limited state funding of this project. When CalFed ended in 2000, the 5 storage projects were divvied up between Reclamation and the state. Sites was technically being managed by the state.
Okay, so getting the legislature to place it on the ballot was one hurdle, but when they got there, voters approved it strongly. Tell us about the private sector coming in on the finance side as well.
Yeah, so the 33 agencies have raised $18 million. We used that to accelerate the project, specifically the environmental document. We also took a strategy different than the state or Reclamation by not trying to do a litigation-proof environmental document. Get what has been known and collected over the last 10 to 15 years, get it out for public comments, hear from those comments, and then advance the project by incorporating and responding to the public's comments.
And how important is the federal side on streamlining that finance?
It would be significant. The Sites project right now, with 40% water for the environment, roughly 30% for cities and 30% for agriculture, it really comes down to the affordability for agriculture. The low interest financing helps improve the support within the Sacramento Valley, the agricultural community, to maintain control of that water.
So indeed, the agriculture and cities have stepped up not only with the preliminary funding, but also with commitments to buy the water at a price that's commensurate with the cost of producing and delivering it. I mean, you have commitments for how many thousands of acre feet already from those entities?
Yeah. The annualized yield is about 500,000 acre feet, and we have 420,000 acre feet, or about 3/4 of that amount. So if the state and feds do not elect to invest in water for the environment, we have water agencies willing to step in and turn it into a water supply project.
Thereby not using even much of that bond money, right?
Correct, that would not be a Prop 1 project at that time.
All right, thank you. I yield back.